Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to the session. This is the first question. We have two class guys here. So class one, Sukshmas one. Here we have a static method. Here I'm trying to display some message called Sukshma software. Here we have a one more class called class A, and for execution of the program begin from the main method. And here the three ways we are calling the static method. This is what we are directly calling this one. Another one is we are created an object with the help of the reference. We are calling this one. Another one is with the help of the class name. We are calling this one. And this is what and what exactly the predicted output of this code. So what exactly the output of this code? Analyze once again. So what exactly the output, whether its compilation fails at line 5, 7 or 8 or else no compilation error, it will get an output of Sukshma software 3 times, 1 time, 2 time or any runtime errors. Anyone can answer it. And also we will run this code, don't worry. We will run this code. I will give the proper explanation for this.
The screen is not visible for me.
Screen is not visible. Fine. Tell me guys now. What is an output of this code? Anyone can answer it, no issue. Why? Okay, we will check this code. See, just consider this example. See what will happen here. This is the static method present in the class called Sukshmas1. The static method present in the class called Sukshmas1. Here, one more class I have created, class A, and execution of the program begin from the main. If the static method present in the different class, if we call directly like this, so we'll get the compile time error. See, just observe, we'll get the compile time error. So here I have created the object for the Sukshmas one with the help of the reference. I'm calling static method, it worked fine. And with the help of the class name also I can call, so it worked fine. So no need to create an object to call the any static method. This implementation is not recommended. Why? Because with the help of class name only I can call this one. So if you directly call method like this, so with the absence of the class name, you will get the compile time error. Okay, but the static method present in the inside the same class. Suppose I will take this one, I will alter it. So we'll call static method 1. So now you can directly call like this also. See why? Because a static method present in the same class. Okay, with the help of class name also I can call. With the help of the object also I can call it. Okay, but the static method present in a different class. If you are trying to call directly, so we'll get the compile time error. So here class name is mandatory. Unless you have to create an object like this with the help of the reference, you can call it. Okay, no need to create like this. Okay, this is not recommended. You can call like this only, class name dot followed by the then static method name. But if the static method present in the different class, the conclusion is very simple. Static method present in the different class, you should use the class name at least. Static method present in the same class, you can directly call also. With the help of class name also, you can call it. With the help of the reference also, you can call it. I hope you understood this.
Yes, sir.
This is the second question. Public class Sukshmas2. Here we have an instance variable int I is equal to 10 and static variable static int j is equal to 20, and this is the static method static void m1. And here I'm trying to accessing the static variable instance variable And with the help of this keyword, I'm accessing the static variable, and I have created an object for the class Sukshmas2 A is equal to new Sukshmas2. With the help of the reference, I'm accessing the instance variable of the class. And this is one more class I have created, class Suksh, and execution of the program begin from the main. With the help of the class name, I'm calling the static method name. So Sukshmas2 dot m1. So control reaches here. So now predict the output of this code. Line 8 also you are trying, like you are saying that the instance variable we are unable to access inside the static method, right? So we're telling that compilation fails at line 8.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Then any other? Only one error in this code? Uh,
Yes, sir.
Meghna, any reason why compilation fails at line 9? In your point of view, doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, doesn't matter. Don't worry.
Yeah, class
Here, right,
Sukshmas.
you are telling that this is the line, right? Compilation fails at line 9.
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay, fine, guys. We will run this code. Let's observe this code. So here we have a static variable, static method, and instance variable. This is the static method. So in this class, so execution of the program begin from the main with the help of the class name Sukshmas2 followed by dot operator followed by static method I'm calling. So control definitely reaches here. So inside the static method, we can access the static variable of the class. So then there is no issue here. The inside the static method, if you are trying to access the instance variable, see now, just you are getting the compile time error. Then how we can access the instance variable inside the static method? So for that, see one more, these observe the 15 as well as the 16 line. If you want to access the instance variable inside the static method, you have to create an object. I have created an object Sukshmas2 A is equal to new Sukshmas2. With the help of the reference A data I am accessing, correct? So then there is a no error here. Then there is no error here. But if you are trying to access directly, so you will get the compile time error. And also one more point you have to remember is, so with the help of this keyword, if you are trying to access the static variable only, for this also will get the compile time error. See what kind of error we are getting, non-static variable, this cannot be referred from the static context. So you better to delete this keyword. So if you delete this keyword, this code also work fine. So don't use this keyword here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you comment these two lines, then it's work fine. No issue with this code. So we're getting the proper output for this. So these 2 points you have to remember. And this is the third question, like public class Sukshmas 3. We have a two variables. So this is instance variable. Another one is the static variable, not yet initialized. And here we have a one more static method called static void display. And here this is the local variable int, not yet initialized. And here inside I have created an object for the class called Sukshmas 3. Sukshmas 3 s is equal to new Sukshmas 3. And with the help of the reference, I'm accessing the instance variable with, and directly I can access this. See D, we are directly accessing inside the static method, and also we are accessing the local variable of the class. And execution of the program begin from the public static void main. So I'm directly calling the static method. No need to create an object. Okay, no need to use a class name also. Why? Because the static method present inside the same class. So that is the reason I'm directly calling this. So now predict an output of this code now.
For A is not initialized, na, sir.
Okay. So here is also
Yes.
not at initialized instance variable, static variable also not at initialized.
For D, it will be print 0. But
Okay.
We can't access the instance variable, sir. Like K, int K.
Okay. Like previous example I told, no? You just observe the previous
using
example.
objects you can access.
With the help of, you create an object inside that with the help of the reference I can access, right? Previous example.
Yes, sir.
I'm retaining that
sir.
only.
A is local variable, na sir. So it's not initialized. So that all error barutte A alli.
Oh yes, exactly, Swapna. So I will run this code and show it to you. Just observe this code. I'm not at initialize for the instance variable. I'm not at initialize for the static variable. And if you take a local variable, int a is a local variable, not at initialize. See, in this case, you are getting the error like this. Variable a might not have been initialized. To overcome this difficulty, at least try to initialize some value for it. Okay. Now, if we are trying to run this code, what is the default value for the integer? Instance variable also 0 and static variable also 0. I have explicitly assigned the value 0. But one thing you have to remember, if you are not assigned the value, not at initialize anything, if you are declared but you are using here, so in this case you will get the compile time error. This is the point you should be remember. Okay, you should be initialized for this. So we are using inside here only directly, so that is the reason you are getting the compile time error. So guys, any doubt? Any changes you want to do? And this is my fourth question. Public final abstract class Sukshmas 4. And here we have a method called abstract method. Abstract method, abstract void add. There is no implementation. And this is an ordinary method implementation, void display. And here we are trying to display some message like Sukshmas e-learning. And execution of the program begin from the main. I have created an object for the class Sukshmas 4 s is equal to new Sukshmas 4. And with the help of the reference, I'm just calling this method display, DISP. So what exactly the output, whether it's a compilation fails in the any respective lines or is no error, you will get an output, or any runtime errors, or else take your time and think over it.
Yes,
This
sir.
is abstract class, but we are creating an object for this.
Object. Yes,
Correct.
sir.
When we are creating an object for the abstract class, definitely compile time error, right? Abstract class is a class which
Yes,
we
sir.
cannot instantiate it. Instantiate is nothing but we are unable to create an object for the abstract class, right? So
Yes,
mean to say
sir.
that where compilation fails at line 9. Exactly. Then any
Yes,
other
sir.
errors?
No, sir.
No? Okay, we'll check this one. Just observe this code, guys. Just observe the error message here. Illegal combination of modifier, abstract, and final.
We cannot make it
Correct?
as final.
Yes. If you remove this final now, see only one error that time. Correct? If you remove that modifier called final, then there is only one error. See, this is an abstract class. We are unable to create an object. If you are trying to create an object, so that you will get the compile time error, right? So we are unable to create an object for an abstract. But when you use a final and associated with an abstract, so definitely, so it's a compile time error. So illegal combination of the modifier abstract as well as the final. So two error you will get it. So if you remove final, so definitely, so one error will be removed. Another error is we are created an object for an abstract class. For this reason, definitely we will get the compile time error. Then how to call this one? We are unable to call, correct? We are unable to call this one, so that we can make it as a static. Static, then that time you can ignore. I can directly call display. Is it fine now in this code? Why? Because we are unable to create an object for the class. So that's the reason I don't want to create. So I will introduce a static method. I will introduce a static method here. So static method present in the same class. So that is the reason I'm directly calling. No need to take a help of the class name also. If you want, you can take the help of the class name also. That is also works. Why? Because static method present in same means without help of class name also I can call. See, with the help of class name also I can call. I hope this one is clear for you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this is the next code 5, public final class followed by Sukshmas 5 and final int a. And this block we call it as instance initializer block. And we have one more method called void display. And here I'm trying to display the value of a. And execution of the program begin from the public static void main. I have created the object for the class called Sukshmas 5. A is equal to new Sukshmas 5. With the help of the reference a dot, I'm calling the display. Now predict an output of this code, whether we'll get the value of 10 or the 0 or any compilation errors.
I think compilation error will occur, sir.
Why, Supna, in your point of view?
Sir, A is declared as final. So we should initialize in that. I mean, ಅಲ್ಲಿ initialize ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ sir?
Yes, correct. Yeah. One point is correct, but okay, fine. We'll check for another answers. Any other answer from anyone? Guys, just observe here. This block we call it as instance initializer block. Okay, instance initializer block. And here I have declared, and rule is first you have to initialize or else you will get the compile time error. This is the basic rule. But here what I am introduced here, this is the instance initializer block I have introduced here. So when you are created as an object for the class, first instance initializer block will be executed, then we are performing the initialization for the final. Okay, then we are calling the display. Then if you, with the help of the instance initializer block, I can initialize for the okay variable which is declared as a final. Okay, this is one point is you can initialize like this also. But another thing is, I will, instead of instance initializer block, if I use any method void init. So now if you are trying to initialize, now with the help of the reference only, we'll call yes dot just observe guys here. Sapna, you understood now?
Yes, sir.
See here, cannot assign the value to the final variable. So here, so we'll get like this. So if I assign now some different value, now another error you will get it. See, cannot assign a value to the final variable. Why? Because we already initialized. So that's the reason what I did here. Just I introduce instance initializer. See, if you introduce also, if you rightly code like this also, we'll get the error. See now, cannot assign the value. Why? Because we already assigned. So in this case, you are unable to assign it. So what will happen? Just I declared like this. See, now I have performed initialization inside the instance initializer block. But initial stage only, if you are initialized like this, if you use instance initializer block also, you will get the compile time error like this, cannot assign the value to the final variable. But here I have declared you can perform the initialization inside the instance initializer block. This code work fine. Any doubt guys?
Understood, sir.
But if I use a constructor, is it possible to initialize? If I use constructor, then I will use constructor. See, you are getting compile time error, right? So if I perform initialization explicitly, see now, 13 is coming. Guys, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
This time I have used the constructor. Inside the constructor, I'm performing the initialization for the variable which I declared as a final. Why? Because you have created an object for the class, constructor of the class will be executed. Then inside the constructor of the class, I'm performing the initialization operation. But when will be the problem encounter here? Instead of that public, if I use a void, now it's treated as a method. Now it's treated as a method. In this case, you will get the compilation errors. If I remove void, see treated as a constructor, then it's work fine. With the help of instance initializer block also, I can perform the initialization for the variable, which I declared in the class level. This is the next code, public class Sukshma 6 and final int a. And this is the constructor of the class. I'm performing the initialization for the variable, which I declared as final int a. A is equal to 20, I'm trying to display. And this is the instance initializer block. Again, I'm performing the initialization like a is equal to 10. I'm printing the value, and execution of the program begin from the main method and created an object for the class. So now, what would be the output of this code?
Sir, we must use this operator also inside constructor to print value.
So no, that is an optional. So no, not required here.
Okay, sir.
We can access. Let's observe this program. Here I have introduced a constructor. Okay, and also this is what we call it as instance initializer block. Here inside instance initializer block also I'm performing the initialization. Inside the constructor also I'm performing the initialization. You know about final, only one time I can initialize. If you're trying to initialize one more time, definitely will get the compile time error like this. Variable a might already have been assigned. So when you are created an object for the class, first it will give the first priority to the instance initializer block that will be executed first. When it is executed, you already initializing with the a is equal to 10, then that gets printed. Then after this, the constructor of the class will be executed. Why? Because you know we are created an object for the class, so constructor of the class also gets executed. See, we already assigned the value 10 for the a. If you are trying to just overwritten, like if you are trying to assign some different value like 20, so in this case you will get the compilation error inside the constructor. Mean to say that compilation fails at line 6. Why? Because we already initialize inside the instance initializer block. I will tell you one more rules. When you are created an object for the class, first it will give the priority to the instance initializer block first, then followed by the constructor of the class. This is the point you should be remember. Fine.
Okay,
But
sir.
if I comment this one, then you are trying to run first instance initializer block, then followed by constructor, 10 and 10 will be displayed on the screen. Again, if you are trying to initialize, like reinitialize 20, you will get the compile time error. So understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we'll go for the next code. It's fine, guys. Just see this code. Public class Sukshma 7, we have a static method public static void Sukshma. Again, I'm trying to print Java. We have a one more class test and public static void main, and created an object for the class called Sukshma 7. A is equal to new Sukshma 7 with the help of the reference I'm calling. Does it work or not?
I think Java will be printed, sir.
Java will be printed, no error, nothing. No error, guys. And this could work fine, right? No error here.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because there is no error here only. Why? Because this is the static method present in the class called Sukshma 7. So we can directly, we cannot directly call with the help of class name. Also, you can call Sukshma 7 dot Sukshma. Yes, you can call it. Okay. Then another way is you can create an object for the class, and with the help of the reference also I can call. But this way is not recommended. So with the help of class name only you can call. But with this help also I can call it. So then there is no error in this code. So definitely Java will be printed on the screen. And if you want, I will run and show it to you. So two ways we can call. You can directly call also. The help of class name. No error. This could work fine. But this one is not recommended. Don't use. But we can call. You can create an object also with the help of the reference. I can call the static method which is present in the different class. That is also possible. For this code, I only given an option to you guys. Just observe. This is very basic and very simple code. Options is also here.
Welcome to Java will be printed, sir. After that, arithmetic exception.
Yes, sir.
Mean to say that option 4.
Yes, sir.
Why Oracle is not printing?
Sir, arithmetic exception ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ program terminate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Yes. And what kind of method is he handling? See, exception is arises. Not yet introduce try catch here, correct? Not yet
Yes,
introduce try catch. And which one is handling?
Default exception handler.
Exception handler will handle this one, correct?
Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
will
sir.
internally invoke which method?
Print stack trace.
Print stack trace method. Print stack trace consisting of 3 sections, right? What are those?
Yes.
Exception name,
description of the exception, location.
and location, correct? So,
Yes, sir.
so option 4 is the correct. For this one particularly, I will run this code and show it to you. See guys, if you are trying to run this code, the first line will be works properly. Welcome to Java will be displayed on the screen. Fine. The next line is you will get the compile time error. This one exception arises in this line. So definitely Oracle won't print it. Why? Because we are not providing the try catch mechanism here. So when your exception arises, there is no match catch block here. So definitely, so it will provide the default exception handler. Okay, default exception handler. Okay, that will be like which method will be invoked by the default exception handler by default, in the sense like it will invoke print stack trace method internally. When you invoke the print stack trace method, it will give the detailed description about an exception. There will be the 3 sections are there. One is exception name. This is the exception name, java.lang.arithmetic exception, then followed by the exception description about an exception, value divided by 0. Another one is location. When you click on this, see, it will navigate into the particular one, location. Or else you can name. Say when you click on this, definitely it is pointing to the line number 13. So exception name, description about an exception, followed by the location. So when there is a no exception handler is there, definitely, so it will invoke the default exception handler. So print stack trace method will be called internally. So when the print stack trace method called internally, definitely these kind of messages will be displayed on the screen. So understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
So now there is a next code, code number 9, public class Sukshmas 9. Here we have a protected modifier, protected void call, and I am printing Java, and the class is one. This is the derived class that is extended from the base class Sukshmas 9, and this is overriding mechanism, guys. Here I'm by introducing public here. So modifier public void call, but we are providing the different implementation in the derived class S1. And now execution of the program begin from the main method, and this is the reference I have created for the base class. Sukshmas 9D, the reference is created for the base class, and object is created for the derived class, upcasting mechanism. So new S1, then with the help of the base class reference, I'm calling the method called call, which method will be invoked or else any compilation errors here. or else it will display Java, or else it will be display Oracle, or else any compilation fails at line 3 or line 10, or else none of the above. Will be displayed
Java and Oracle.
both.
First Java, I think.
Both will be printed, Java and Oracle.
Yeah.
Okay, we will run this code. So this is the class 9. We have a here call method with associated with the protected modifier, and here overriding mechanism here associated with the public modifier. Then now if you are trying to run this code, see it's printing Oracle. This is overriding mechanism. Definitely when you are creating the reference for the parent also, object is created for the derived. So definitely with the help of the parent class reference, if you call method, definitely it will invoke the derived class method, not the base class method. It will always invoke the derived class method. When it invokes the derived class method, definitely it will print the Oracle, not Java. Java won't be displayed on the screen.
Okay, sir.
Very simple code, public class Sukshmas 10. And this is the static block, guys. Static block here, static int k is equal to 10. Execution of the program begin from the main. I have created an object also here. Sukshmas 10, s is equal to new Sukshmas 10. At the time of class loading, static block will be loaded, and that will be executed. So what is an output of this code? Okay, I will explain. I will run and I will explain this code. Wait, see what exactly the error here. See, at the time of the class loading, static block will be executed, then control reaches the main method. So what is exactly the error? Just observe illegal forward reference here. So after the static block, I am performing the initialization. I'm printing first k only first. And then after that only I'm initializing. See, I'm directly printing the k. Then here after this one, I'm performing the initialization. So that is the reason you will getting the compilation error like illegal forward reference. To overcome this difficulty, first before the static block, we have to declare static int k is equal to 10. See, then at the time of class loading, static block will be executed. Then definitely this code works. It will print 10. Then after that only control reaches the main method. If you want, you can print one more message like this. You need to create an object, you can ignore it. Now if you run, first static block will be executed, then followed by the statement which is present in the main, that will be executed. So if you do like this, you will get illegal forward reference. But if you're not using anything, then it's work fine. It doesn't matter. I'm not using any k variable inside. In this case, it works fine. But if I use k variable first, in this case, you will get the error, illegal forward reference. Guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
And this is the next question, guys. Class bank. Here we have a constructor system.out.println. Welcome to SBI. Here we have one more class, public class Sukshmas 11. Execution of the program begin from the main. Here we have a try catch here. Inside the try, with the help of throw keyword, I'm just throwing my exception. Throw new bank. And also I have created the constructor of the class also. Definitely when you were created an object for the class, definitely constructor of the class will be executed. Then after that, we are throwing user defined exception. I have the catch block also, and I have one more catch block, throwable. Throwable is a root class in the exception hierarchy. Now predict the output of this code. Any guesses from anyone? Guys, you have to remember this. So two things we need to update here. So why one error is coming in the line here through keyword, here is error is coming. So if you want to overcome this difficulty, first anyhow it will invoke the constructor of the class. Always when you are writing this code, you have to use the extends followed by exception, base class exception. You have to extend from the base exception. Exception is a class. Okay, this is user defined class, that is extend from the exception. Then one error will be removed. If you are not extend from the exception, so definitely one error will be generated, incompatible types. So that's the reason you should add one. Then after this, one more error will be generated. So exception bank has already been caught. Why? Because we are using the throwable here. So with the absence of this also, it will be caught. But if you use here, definitely you have to specify most specific to most general. Most specific in the sense here only bank, this is the most specific. So I can place here, then there is a no error here. Catch block will be executed. Welcome to SBI, then followed by the catch block will be printed on the screen. Just observe. Any doubt guys regarding this?
No, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, we'll go for the last code. This is the last code. Public class Sukshmas 12. Execution of the program begin from the main. Here I have try, catch, and finally here. And try system.out.println of Java. I'm calling system.exit of 0. Here catch block is there and finally block is there. So
Java will be printed, sir.
Java will be printed. Why? Finally
Because
want to
system
execute it?
type, no, sir, exit of 0.
Yes,
So
yes,
that
yes.
time,
Yes, Abhinav, your answer is correct. I will run and show it to you once again. When you are trying to run this code, first it will enter for the try block, then it will print Java. When you call system.exit, so it never reaches for the finally block. Okay, but if you ignore this one, there is no exception here, but it will go for the try block. Java will be printed. No exception arises inside the try block. Definitely a finally block that is also gets executed. Whether the exception rises or not, so definitely finally block that gets executed. Understood?